Love, everyone talks about it. But there's a secret side of love that almost no one talks about. Have you ever been in love that felt both magical and painful at the same time? That kind of love where your heart said, "This must be fate," but your mind whispered, "Something doesn't feel right." Maybe you've fallen for someone who wasn't good for you, but no matter how much you tried, you couldn't walk away. Or maybe you've had that instant spark, that dizzying rush of attraction, where it felt like the universe itself was bringing you together. Or perhaps you felt addicted to someone, like you needed them just to breathe. Carl Jung, one of the greatest thinkers in psychology, believed that much of what we call love isn't just romance or destiny. It's our unconscious mind at work, our shadows, our hidden wounds, and our deepest longings shaping the way we fall for people. And here's where it gets fascinating. You can actually learn to see these hidden forces at play. When you do, love starts to look very different. So stick with me until the end, because we're going to uncover the secret side of love no one talks about. And if you care about self-discovery and want to understand love in a deeper way, make sure you hit subscribe, because this journey is going to change the way you see relationships forever. Why does love feel so irresistible, like a force you can't control? Jung believed it's because love isn't only about them. It's also about you. What feels like fate is often your unconscious mind pulling the strings. Here's the key. When we fall in love, we don't just see the other person. We project parts of ourselves onto them without even realizing it. Jung called this projection. Imagine your inner world, your dreams, wounds, and hidden qualities being unconsciously placed onto someone else. Suddenly, they feel magnetic, almost supernatural, as if they hold everything you've been searching for. Think about it. Have you ever met someone and instantly thought, "I've known them forever"? That spark feels real, but often it's your unconscious recognizing something familiar. Maybe they remind you of a parent, a childhood experience, or even a hidden side of yourself you've long ignored. This is why love can feel like both heaven and chaos. You're not just falling for them. You're falling for what they awaken inside you. Jung believed love acts like a mirror, showing us the deepest parts of our psyche. Sometimes that mirror is beautiful, sometimes it's painful, but it's always powerful. And if this already sparks something inside you, don't forget to subscribe, because we're only scratching the surface. In the next part, you'll see how the darker, hidden side of yourself, the shadow, plays a role in why love feels like fate. Now let's talk about something Jung believed plays a massive role in love, but almost no one realizes: the shadow. The shadow is the hidden, rejected parts of ourselves, the qualities we deny, suppress, or pretend don't exist. Maybe you grew up being told to always be polite, so you pushed away your anger. Or you learned to always be responsible, so you buried your playful, carefree side. These lost pieces don't just disappear. They wait in the unconscious. And here's the twist. In love, we often project our shadow onto other people. That's why attraction can feel so electrifying. A shy, reserved person may feel magnetically pulled toward someone bold and outspoken. A strict, disciplined person may find themselves falling hard for a free-spirited partner. It feels like destiny, like two puzzle pieces finally clicking. But Jung would say, what's really happening is your unconscious trying to reunite you with a part of yourself you've rejected. It's as if love becomes a stage where your missing pieces come alive through someone else. That's why it feels so powerful, because you're not just seeing them, you're also seeing a hidden version of you. Jung believed the unconscious often arranges these encounters to push us toward growth. Fate in relationship, he argued, is often shadow recognition. It's life's way of saying, "Look here, this is the part of you that needs to be acknowledged." So the next time you feel that unexplainable pull toward someone, ask yourself, is this really fate, or is it my shadow asking to be seen? And if this idea already makes you see your love life differently, don't forget to subscribe, because the more we explore Jung's insights, the more tools you'll have to understand yourself and transform the way you experience love. Now let's uncover one of Jung's most fascinating ideas about love: the Anima and Animus. Jung believed that inside every man lives an inner feminine figure called the Anima, and inside every woman lives an inner masculine figure called the Animus. These aren't literal people, they're archetypes, inner images that shape the way we relate to the opposite sex. Here's a catch. We often project these inner figures onto the people we meet. That's why someone can suddenly appear magical, flawless, or the one. It's not just them. It's your inner archetype shining onto them like a spotlight. Imagine this. A man meets a woman who unconsciously reflects his anima. Suddenly, he feels an overwhelming certainty. She's my soulmate. I've found the one. But in truth, what he's seeing isn't her reality. He's seeing the inner feminine image within himself, projected onto her. That's why early attraction can feel so intense, almost otherworldly. But eventually, reality surfaces, the projection fades, and the real person steps out from behind the illusion. That's when disappointment hits. You feel betrayed, heartbroken, maybe even tricked by fate. But Jung would say it wasn't fate betraying you. It was the unconscious revealing your own inner world. This is why love often feels so magical at first, then so confusing later. Because you weren't just falling in love with them. You were falling in love with your own anima or animus reflected back at you. And if you've ever wondered why someone felt like your destiny one moment and a stranger the next, hit that subscribe button. Because this is just the beginning of understanding the hidden psychology of love. Have you ever caught yourself asking, why do I keep falling for the same type of person? Maybe they're unavailable. Maybe they're critical. Maybe they make you feel invisible. And yet somehow you keep ending up in that same story over and over again. Carl Jung would say, that's no accident. Our earliest relationships, especially with parents or caregivers, leave deep imprints on the psyche. If you had a distant parent, you might unconsciously find yourself drawn to partners who are emotionally unavailable. If you grew up with a critical parent, you may strangely feel attracted to people who criticize you. Why? Because the psyche repeats what is familiar, not because it's good for you, but because it's trying to resolve the unfinished business of childhood. It's like your unconscious keeps placing you in the same play, hoping you'll finally recognize the script and change it. That's why unhealthy attraction can feel so powerful. It's not fate, it's the familiar. Your inner child sees something it recognizes, and suddenly, the pull feels magnetic. The good news is this. Once you see the pattern, you're no longer trapped by it. What once felt like destiny becomes an opportunity for healing. And if this makes you rethink your love history, even just a little, make sure to subscribe. Because the next part will show you why love so often feels like destiny, and how you can finally break free. Now let's bring it all together. Projection, shadow, anima, and animus, childhood imprints. They all weave into this powerful illusion we call fate. Jung once said, what we call fate is often the unconscious at work. Think about that. The very thing we swear was written in the stars may actually be written in the pages of our own psyche. That instant spark? It's projection. That magnetic pull? It's your shadow asking to be seen. That soulmate connection? It might be your anima or animus projected onto another. That familiar heartbreak? It's your childhood imprint, replaying itself. No wonder it feels so powerful. Love isn't just love. It's psychology in motion. But here's the empowering twist. Those wrong partners, those painful stories, they weren't mistakes. They were teachers. They revealed to you the parts of yourself you needed to face. So the next time you feel swept away, instead of asking, is this fate? Try asking, what is my unconscious showing me right now? Because love isn't a curse, it's a guide. And if you want to keep learning how to turn these hidden patterns into conscious choice, don't forget to subscribe. The journey of love gets a lot clearer when you see what's really pulling the strings. Now let's bring it all together. Projection, shadow, anima, and animus, childhood imprints. They all weave into this powerful illusion we call fate. Jung once said, what we call fate is often the unconscious at work. Think about that. The very thing we swear was written in the stars may actually be written in the pages of our own psyche. That instant spark? It's projection. That magnetic pull? It's your shadow asking to be seen. That soulmate connection? It might be your anima or animus projected onto another. That familiar heartbreak? It's your childhood imprint, replaying itself. No wonder it feels so powerful. Love isn't just love. It's psychology in motion. But here's the empowering twist. Those wrong partners, those painful stories, they weren't mistakes. They were teachers. They revealed to you the parts of yourself you needed to face. So the next time you feel swept away, instead of asking, "Is this fate?" try asking, "What is my unconscious showing me right now?" Because love isn't a curse, it's a guide. And if you want to keep learning how to turn these hidden patterns into conscious choice, don't forget to subscribe. The journey of love gets a lot clearer when you see what's really pulling the strings. So, what happens when you break the spell? When projections fade, when shadows are integrated, when you finally stop confusing the unconscious with destiny, love changes. It feels different, steadier, calmer, and more grounded. Instead of being intoxicated by someone, you actually see them. Not the fantasy, not the projection, not the anima or animus, but the real human being in front of you. And here's the beautiful part. This kind of love may not sweep you off your feet in the same dizzying way, but it brings clarity, depth, and trust. Jung believed this was a fruit of individuation, the process of becoming whole. When you own your shadow, when you stop projecting your missing pieces, you don't fall in love out of desperation or unconscious repetition. You choose love consciously. Think of all the loves in your past as stepping stones. They weren't failures, they were teachers. They showed you the patterns, the wounds, and the parts of yourself that needed to come home. And once those lessons are integrated, you're ready for a love that grows, rather than one that just repeats. If you want to learn how to build that kind of conscious, lasting love, subscribe and stay with us. Because the journey doesn't end here, it's just beginning. So let's bring it all together. Love feels so magical, so fated, because powerful forces are at play beneath the surface. The shadow, anima, and animus, projection, and those old childhood wounds. Each one quietly shapes who we're drawn to and why certain relationships feel irresistible. But here's the truth you need to hear. You're not broken for falling for the wrong person. You're not cursed for repeating the same story. Those loves weren't failures. They were your psyche's way of helping you grow. Every heartbreak, every fated connection, was a mirror reflecting back something you needed to see in yourself. And here's the empowering part. Once you become aware of these patterns, everything changes. You stop mistaking unconscious pull for destiny. You stop calling repetition fate. You start to choose love consciously, with freedom and clarity. As Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. The same is true in love. If this opened your eyes, don't leave without subscribing. Stay with us on this journey of self-discovery, because the real secret to love isn't finding the perfect person. It's understanding yourself. And once you do, love will never feel the same again.